This painting is called Samhain. The title looks like Samhain, Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain, and it's a pagan holiday. Samhain is a pagan holiday, but it is very associated with Halloween. Most people would call it Halloween, and it's a time where you remember those who've passed. It's a time that you can connect to your ancestors. They talk about it being there's being a veil between that realm and this realm, and during Samhain or Halloween, that veil is so-called thinned, and so the communication between the different realms is supposedly easier at that time. So you might notice things happening around your house or around you that might make you think of your past loved ones. More often, people would say that's them actually trying to contact you, trying to, let you know that they're there. And so that's what this is representing. This figure is kneeling. He's kneeling sort of in reverence to this divine energy. The horse is representing not just a horse, a physical horse, but a divine energy. I like to talk about energy in terms of being light and dark. When I talk about dark energy, it does not mean bad energy. To me, dark energy is earth energy. And it's sort of a solid, ancient, heavy energy. It's sort of stabilizing energy. Whereas when I talk about light energy, that's more like divine realm, angels, light, sort of flowing energy. And so this one is really, really exploring dark energy. This horse is a spirit representing dark energy, earth energy, ancient times and ancestors. These people are underground. I think sometimes I have a lot of paintings with people underground, and some people get a little concerned about that. Sometimes they think it's talking about death. It is only in the sense that death has happened before our ancestors have passed. But as I've sort of touched on a few times, I don't necessarily, life is a cycle, death is a cycle. It's not necessarily the end. So when people are like coming out of the ground, it's not the undead rising or anything like that. It's more about earth being part of us. I think when people are buried in the earth, it's interesting because they're sort of going back to the earth. I don't think they stay there. I think like I said, it's a revolving process. Every piece of life itself has so many levels to it, and I think death is the same way. And so these are ancestors who are part of the earth now, but they're also everywhere at the same time. And so he's being supported. He's on his ancestors. Everything that the people before us have done have led us to where we are now as a people, as humans. And so he's there. You've got some fantasy characters that are, crossing the line of different realms in terms of reality and material world. And so she's also a divine figure. She's holding the moon in her tree hand, and sort of communicating with this spirit horse over here. And he's just absorbing it all. And it's not supposed to be a scary piece. It's supposed to be a piece of reverence. And over here, this is a piece called Otherworld. And in terms of light energy and dark energy that I was talking about before, this is a piece that's more in the light energy zone, in terms of not necessarily rooted in the earth world, but very much in the other realm. There's, figures and characters that are clearly not realistic. There's, you know, dragons and tiger ladies, and you know, this character has wings and a bird mask on. I think the owl is probably the most realistic. Oh, the salamander maybe, but there's an angel, you know, holding, sort of supporting another character. The angel has, you know, this circle on her forehead that is representing the third eye chakra. I didn't paint out a whole third eye, but that's what the energy represents. And she's kind of got her hand out in a gesture that could either be seen as welcoming, you know, or also kind of a, you know, what the heck are you guys doing kind of gesture. Like, why are you not, you know, sort of exploring? Why are you not learning? I think a lot of people are very closed down spiritually, and in this era especially. And so that's what this figure is sort of it's like she's kind of out of it in a sense, it's consciously out of it, but she's sort of melting and almost becoming lost. And so she's being supported by this angel, and the idea in this is that through that support, you know, she'll heal. But I think as humans, we can get lost sometimes, and you know, if we can use spirituality for support. We should use spirituality for support, but there's this whole unknown, and I think with spirituality, people get so caught up in the material realm, and oh, this isn't real, and that can't be right, and arguing over whose belief system is right. And I think it's more fun and more healthy to sort of be open-minded and, you know, question reality, question what's possible. You know, sometimes we see what we want to see. We see what we think we already know, what we already think, and we just verify that. We go round and around. We aren't open to new ideas or new possibilities. And so that's what this is sort of representing, the other world, the realm that isn't as we think it is. And you know, a lot of the stuff I talk about with ghost drums and things like that is very unbelievable. You know, I know myself, if I had heard somebody said they heard ghost drums, sure, you know, unless you hear it for yourself, you're not going to believe that. And I think there's something about spirituality that the more open you become, the more experiences you have. And you know, it's sort of a fun realm. It's a really fun, you know, exciting place to explore, realm to explore, because it almost brings you back to childhood, you know, where you have imagination still and you aren't limited. I think when you take away those limitations, you really expand. You expand your mind, you expand your knowledge, expand possibilities. You don't have to be rooted in anything. You don't have to be stuck to any one belief system, or you know, even say, yes, I absolutely believe in this. It's more of, this is a possibility, and you know, then the whole world becomes an experience of possibilities rather than an experience of negatives or an experience of shut doors, locked doors.